Hello and welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia. I'm your host Ryan Black and I'm joined by my co-host Jacob Rush, and we are back and we are playing with power. Jacob, how you doing this week?
Well, I'm great. Now, I'm on the show with you, man. It's been so long. Where have you been hiding from all of us, man? What's going on?
Oh, just been kind of in hiding. Life has been pretty insane, and got a lot of people to take care of, and a lot less time than I usually do, than usually have. So it seems like right around the time that I'm always ready to come on for an episode, my mother-in-law shows up, like unannounced, and weird. I'm like, well, I guess I'm busy tonight. So she comes down and works on a bunch of projects, so it keeps me busy for sure.
Well, sorry she unexpectedly shows up, but hey, what can you do? I do know that today's episode's fun. It's probably the most looked forward to episode every year from us that we get to do. It's exciting times where we are finally in kind of like that Christmas season of announcements again.
Mm-hmm.
You feeling pretty good about it?
I have mixed emotions all over the spectrum on this one. So, but we'll get into that when we get into that. So, I just want to know, like, how have you been lately? What have you been Radical Rexing about?
So what are we Radical Rexing about? I am, I'm doing good. I'm, just like I've always been, I'm just working hard at, schooling. I'm trying to see about becoming a teacher's assistant or instructional assistant next school year. Which if I do get that, then I'll leave my current job that I've been at the past 2 years. So then I can fully be involved in schools. And then as I start student teaching next January, and if I have this kind of job, I will be able to continue to do this job while I student teach, so I can have a consistent paycheck while I do that and finish this license to become a teacher, which would be a huge blessing, because most of the time if you don't have that, then you don't get paid to student teach, and which I think is pretty unrealistic in today's world anymore, especially when I have 3 kids to take care of and a soon to be wife, so, but I'm excited because I'm just getting there little by little. And I'm really, trying to it seems like I'm always trying to get back in shape on this show, but I am, life has always happened and kind of, it takes a back burner at different seasons, and I've been hitting the weights hard, and just have to be patient. Game wise, I'm not really playing much. I'm trying to dive into Deltarune. I really want to get to chapter 2 because I beat the first chapter a long time ago when it first came out. I beat it on my Mac, actually. First game I've ever really played on a computer, but I was so excited about it. But I never beat Jevil, who is actually my favorite character from Deltarune. And he's hard. And for how busy my life is, I have not been able to devote unconditional time to crafting my skill against this insane villain of a character. And, it's just like one of those things that it's so hard. Like, I want to do it and I enjoy it, but, like, it's so hard. I kind of dread doing it. And I'm like, ugh. No, I don't know. I don't want to do that. So, I am trying to dive in. I just kind of rewatched a review on YouTube on how to like handle him well, because he's hard. I kick myself because last fall I gave it a good try, and I got him down to the last thing, and all I had to do was pacify him, and I accidentally selected the wrong button, and I screwed up and didn't pacify him, and then he killed me the next turn. And there's no rewind feature on this game, children. So after that, I kind of was done for a while. And So, but I want to dive in because I beat Eastward, and that was a game I started in the fall and went on break and then came back to it. I beat it. Great game overall. And now I'm just I have all these little games that I got far in, but I never quite finished. And that's why I want to get to Deltarune, finish that up and start chapter 2 because I love that game. So that's really what I'm Radical Rexing about. I did get HBO Max. I never had that. And it's funny because I had to convince Lindsay to get it, just why should we be paying for this? And when we have other streaming services. And the funny part is she's actually watched it more than me. And I was the one who had to convince her. But with that said, I've been able to catch up on some bunch of movies that I just missed out on over the years. I just saw the latest Matrix. I watched that. Did you see that yet, Ryan?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you were like my Matrix guru back in the day, and you need to watch it. I really want to know your thoughts on it. Some interesting things. I didn't think the movie was I didn't think it was spectacular as in this is something to remember, but as in the story as in the Matrix and what happened within the first trilogy and what's happening now, that was really interesting. So I think if you are a longtime Matrix fan, you will enjoy that aspect of it. If you're going into it for just a thrill ride, you're not going to get that. It's not, I mean, there's parts that are cool, but it's not that feeling I got when I saw Matrix Reloaded in theaters. And they just put a lot into I remember what was it? The interstate car scene was it was 15 minutes long. It was insane. It was really cool, but it was insane. And there's nothing like that extreme on this one. But it is cool. It is cool, and you should watch it. I want to hear your thoughts when you do. But I've been just catching up on stuff like that, and rewatched the Batman I saw in theaters, and I've been watching the Batman animated series that we watched when we were kids. That's definitely one of my nostalgic bank, and the kids have been wanting to watch it with me too, so that's really cool. But that's what I've been Radical Rexing about. How about you?
Awesome. For me, well, I just came into a lot of nostalgia, a box of nostalgia. I don't know if you saw on Facebook or not, but I posted that I got a random abandoned box someone abandoned in their basement of one of the apartments or the houses that my mother-in-law rented out. And they just left a bunch of old stuff, like old swords and things like that. And
cool.
But they left this box full of video game stuff.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So she brought it here to me. She came down this week, and we've been cleaning them up slowly but surely, and just seeing what all we have here. And I got ended up with 2 Sega Genesises, and I have a first gen and a second gen Sega Genesis.
Wow.
And now I have 2 more second gens, and then it also came with a 32X attachment. So I'm gonna have to look into what 32X has to offer and what all I need for it to make it work. Hopefully these consoles still work. I'm assuming they were in a damp basement, so we'll see what's salvageable. But it's cool to have for collector's purposes. In addition to that, I got a Super Nintendo, which I have been lacking for a very long time. I haven't had one since I originally owned one.
Nice.
Back in the day. And then, let's see, I also got a top-loading NES. And I didn't have a working NES, so I finally have that. And I got a couple of games that here or there. Most notably, I got Super Mario All-Stars again. That was really cool to get that. Something from my childhood that I really treasure.
Yeah.
And then I got a few other games that I'm not too familiar with. Some wrestling games, like a boxing game. It was like George Foreman KO or something. So I got Ocarina of Time and Mario 64, which I didn't have those games on my 64. I got 3 NES controllers. No controllers for any of the other systems. But, I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first game. I got that for NES. That came in that. So that was a pretty cool find. I don't think there's anything else that was like major standout. I think the biggest one was the 32X and the top loader Nintendo, which I've always wanted one of those.
Didn't you get
think about in that.
I thought you maybe mentioned that you got like a Zelda cartridge or something for.
Yeah, I got Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Yeah, got to clean those up. I remember when I, like 5-6 years ago, when I was really in the height of my retro collecting, which has
Hmm.
definitely been put on hold the past 2 to 3 years. Um, I would love getting games, and I would order some on eBay and go to
Hmm.
retro stores. And yeah, you gotta like. I always feel really gross when I buy them, because you don't know where this has been, and some of them
Yeah.
are really gross looking and feeling. And I remember just you get the Clorox wipes out, you scrub every nook and cranny of it, and then you
Hmm.
get a Q-tip with hand sanitizer, and you scrub that cartridge hard, man.
Hmm.
And there's so many blackness of Q-tips that I've had. It's quite disturbing how dirty those things can get. But yeah, then it gets all freshened up and it's yours, you
Yeah.
know.
I think the Ocarina of Time cartridge got the worst of it. It still has some contacts in the inside, on the outer border of the cartridge inside. It's got some rust, and I got to figure out how to get that rust off of those contacts.
Yeah.
But everything else looks pretty good. I'm hoping it all works once I find the cords for everything, get everything hooked up to test it out. I'm really hopeful. All the slots in the top loader and the Super Nintendo all looked good to me. And the
Yeah.
Genesis slots look pretty good. I think that some of the contacts on the 32X were a little bit worn, so I need to see. I'll just plug it in and see how it works, if it's working or not. But I think you needed some special cords to connect to the TV to get it to work. So I need
Okay.
to look into that. But got 32X now. Though the games are really expensive, I hear. So
Yeah.
may not be getting any games anytime soon. But it's kind of cool to have that piece of history at least.
For sure.
Yeah. Aside from that, I'm trying to think if I've been playing anything stellar or anything. Not a whole lot. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, honestly. Does nothing new for me. I want to say I was playing a game for a bit, and then I finished up and then moved on. But honestly, I can't even tell you what it was now. It's been a couple of months. I was in the hospital, so I was in the hospital for my brother-in-law and
Family,
Draco. They
yeah.
were at the same hospital at the same time, so I had a lot of time to kill. So I just played a lot of games. That was fun. Um, just brushing up on my skills in different games. A lot of
Hmm.
those free to plays or those just online multiplayer type games. Nothing too story driven or stellar. I'm really looking forward to getting into soccer when it comes out. Mario Strikers.
Yeah,
That's going to be
definitely.
a lot of fun. I don't really have any other games that I'm like jonesing for, except for maybe like the Sonic Origins is coming. I'm looking forward to playing that one. Can't think of anything else that's like super on my radar right now, which is part of the reason like I'm not super hyped for E3 because like this year just seems kind of lackluster for me, and so like I'm not expecting much coming from Nintendo. But we'll get into that. Before we get into the topic, though, we do have a couple of voicemails to share, or at least one.
Hey guys, it's Chris. Sorry I can't be recording with you guys tonight. I was really looking forward to it, but just a weird mishap just happened, so I apologize. But I still wanted to give my predictions and get it out there, and hopefully they'll be able to come true because of that. So my first main prediction is that we will see a new game by Goodfield. This is the developer behind Yoshi's Crafted World and Yoshi's Woolly World, a really, really talented team. And they've been saying that they're making a new samurai game and that they do intend to put it on the Switch. So I'm really excited for that because they're very skilled when it comes to aesthetics of things. So that should be really interesting. And this was mentioned in about 2020, I believe. So I think this is the year where it might be ready because they were in the kind of like conceptual stage back then. So that should be something new and interesting and fresh to look forward to. I also think that we'll see a sequel to ARMS. Considering that Min Min was added as a DLC character to Smash Brothers, I think Nintendo wants to keep this character fresh and alive in people's minds. So, so I think that they'll be able to really understand and learn from the first game, which got pretty good reviews, but people weren't, overjoyed about it, and the discussion behind it kind of faded very quickly. So I think they'll be able to think of a new, interesting mechanic and find some new life into this franchise, which I think has a lot of potential. So that is my second prediction. And the last thing is that I think we'll see Donkey Kong in some form. I don't know who's going to make it. I know Retro's making Metroid Prime 4, so I think they'll kind of give the license to a new developer that might have some cool ideas for us. So have a great show, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Thanks for calling, Chris.
Thank you.
What do you think about what he said, man?
I think there's a lot of credibility to it. I've got one of his predictions. I've kind of got in mind a little different, but definitely something to be excited about to see. I'm getting that vibe. Like this year's going to be a lot more remakes again. Just like we're going to see some like stuff ported to Switch that we wanted to see from Nintendo, and people have been demanding. So we'll see. What do you think?
I think an ARMS 2 will happen. I honestly don't think that. I don't think that's on Nintendo's radar. I think an ARMS 2 is going to come when like we do get a Switch successor. I don't feel like it's not as urgent of It's not like Splatoon. Splatoon's a massive, huge hit seller, and it's been that way since it came out. That's why we're getting two Splatoons for this current Switch generation, and that's why you're going to see another one. I don't think ARMS 2 did that. I think it's a game that they like and they feel will make them money, but I think it's something they'll save for the next gen. But outside of that, we're getting into our own predictions here. So why don't we get rolling into this?
Absolutely.
You take the reins, Ryan. What's your first prediction? And let's be clear. Okay, so obviously E3 is not happening now, but it's.
Sadly.
The events still go on, and Nintendo's. Let's be real. They've essentially done their own thing. They've done their own thing, and they just include it with the E3 events. But this is going to be treated exactly the same. They're going to have a Treehouse Live event. I'm sure that they'll just do. They're at their own home base, and if anything, it's cheaper. It's just way cheaper for them to just do it right there at home. Instead of traveling and building a huge set, which is always part of the magic that Nintendo does. But it's fine, and Nintendo, I believe, will still show up, and they're going to have a fun show for us. So this is Nintendo's live event without the E3 label on it. Take it away, Ryan.
Yeah, I think my first one is I'm pretty sure that we're going to get this is kind of a 2-for-1. I think we're going to get a Mario game this year, and then a DK game as well. But it'll come in the form of the mashed up worlds of Mario versus Donkey Kong. I think that's what we're going to see, but it's going to be an evolution of the series, something new, taking it in a new direction. Maybe keeping some of the charming art styles, but maybe making it in 3D space. Like puzzle platformer and a different perspective, a different way of working it, but have the same kind of idea with puzzle solving. Kind of a Captain Toad, but more on the lines of the Mario versus Donkey Kong formula.
That would be fun. That would be interesting. I'll be a little sad if that's the only DK we see, but I'm
imagining something like a Pushmo type thing or something like that, where they use like some mechanics like that, just something unique with that, with puzzle solving, but with that skin.
It'd be cool if they reversed it and you had to be DK trying to get to Mario for things instead of always being Mario going for DK.
And it would be cool if they did kind of a sequel type thing like that, where you had the traditional Donkey Kong and then the reversal of roles and like with Donkey Kong Jr. trying to rescue Donkey Kong and just that kind of idea of maybe doing something like that where maybe we do get we see Kiddy Kong again and Kiddy Kong's trying to do something something crazy like that it would just be a new generation.
It would be awesome if this was their way of reintroducing the Kongs, all the Kongs, and like each stage, like each area, you have to be all the Kongs, all the the DK64 clan, Kiddy Kong, and you get to be all those Kongs per a different area to figure out how to do things because they all have different abilities, you could do very unique things with each Kong with different puzzles to figure out. That would be really something special.
Yeah,
with Mario being the bad guy the whole time, which would be so funny.
It's kind of that, like, people are hoping for, like, the next 2.5D platformer, like a Tropical Freeze or something. But I think that, like, if Nintendo's going to innovate, like they tend to do, I think they could do something really cool with that.
Well, the Switch has been, it's definitely been a tool to bring back older franchises that they haven't really messed with in a while. They've been doing that. And, it's very plausible. I could see that happening, that you mentioned it, Because you're right, we have heard rumors of Mario games, a new Mario game on the horizon, or a new Donkey Kong game. So, what if they're just combined and it's both?
Yeah.
That would
What's
be
your first one?
interesting. Well, I guess since we've already talked about DK, I'll dive in. I do think we're going to see what that Donkey Kong game was all about, whether that is the game you're talking about, or I personally am hoping it is another adventure game. I really want it to be 3D though. I don't want to. I mean, obviously, I'll get a side scroller. I'll love the heck out of it, but personally, I really would like to have another crack at 3D, like 64, but in the Mario Odyssey engine. So I do think we will see a Donkey Kong game of some sort, whether it is the 2.5D or 3D.
I think if they did it in a 3D space, made it very cinematic, very action, time event type gameplay, like a Tomb Raider or something like that, where you had to press the button at the right time. Make it kind of Spider-Man-esque, older Spider-Man, where you're swinging through the city, like swinging through vines and stuff like that, and and have action scenes when you come upon certain enemies and stuff. That would be kind of a cool, like 3D space type idea. You've got that just kind of suddenly you're thrust into this battle and you have to hit the buttons at the right time, and it's just a beautiful spectacle. But it also would have its challenges with platforming and stuff. It'd be kind of interesting.
Well, the Switch needs a pure DK game. I mean, Tropical Freeze is Wii U, and that was 2014. That was a whole different life ago for me. Whole different life ago for me, and we need something new. We certainly do. So, okay, yeah, that's my first prediction. Donkey Kong of some sorts.
Cool.
All right, how about you? Thank you.
I think my next one, pretty on par with the rumors. I think we're gonna finally see Metroid Prime, the remaster, ported to Switch. I think we're gonna see that. I don't think it's gonna be the trilogy. I definitely, and it seems pretty safe to say, but I really do see them doing something with Prime. I could only hope that they bring a second mode to it that lets you put the Switch in Tate mode and play Metroid Prime Pinball as a bonus mode. I would absolutely love that.
That'd be cool.
2 games in one. That seems like a no-brainer, especially just the rumble and everything. But
yeah,
you could leave at least one Joy-Con on so it would vibrate, just so you get that original experience in some way. That's kind of where I'm thinking about that. I would love that experience. But I think it would have to be a little bit more, and including that in the game would just make it so much more replayable for me. So having a pinball mode on there would be stellar.
That would be fun, like a cool beat the game, and maybe it's an unlockable thing within the game.
Yes, exactly. Or you could link something with Dread. You can get the pinball or something or maybe get Metroid Dread tables as an expansion to that.
Maybe if you pre-order it, the pre-order bonus.
It could be that.
No, I love that idea. Maybe we're predictable, but I do feel like I don't think it's going to be the trilogy. I think it's going to be Metroid Prime alone, standalone. Yeah. And I think that if it sells well, you'll see them trickle out Prime 2 and Prime 3 within time. And they'll all be sold individually. I do think it's going to be a Metroid Prime remaster. I'd be floored if it was an HD remake all entirely, which would be mind-blowing. I don't think it will. It'll just be kind of a remaster. It's going to be more HDified. Kind of like what they did with Sunshine for the collection, But I would be floored if it was remade. That would be super cool. But I think, I do think this is the time we're going to see it. But I will include this. I do think that we do see Prime 4 this year. And I think it'll be
or something.
Yeah, I think we will have a teaser or a trailer. What they have to have something at this point, right?
I almost wonder if they'll show it off in December, or when the Game Awards are going on.
I could see that, but I don't know. This just seems like a right time to do it, because they've been so silent on it since 2017. It was the first E3 after the Switch came out that they announced
they
this
did scrap it. So they did start from ground zero.
In 2019, right? Was it 2019 they restarted?
Yeah, I think so.
So they were in about a year and a half to 2 years of development, and then rebooted it 2020.
Who can say
2021,
if there's
2022.
any assets carried over at all? It might have to just be built completely from scratch because it was so off. Which
That's
is,
what it sounds
I mean,
like they did.
that can happen, and it was weird that it was announced, but because they announced it so early, like they had to keep people's expectations going. Like, yeah, it's delayed, and not the 3 for the longest time, and several other
Right.
entries like in the industry. Like you don't hear that, so it was really cool to hear that from Nintendo and hear some of that transparency about that. And I do kind of feel that what you're saying with there being like releases of remakes for 1, 2, and 3, I definitely see that. I could see, the first one having Metroid Prime Pinball attached to it. The second one will have a dedicated multiplayer that you can play online.
Oh yeah.
And that's all, updated. So that would be the extra game mode, and that would be fun. And then Metroid Prime 3, who can say? I would say, like, slap on Federation Force and just be like a minor port that you could play with friends, a co-op
Hunters.
mode.
You're forgetting about Hunters, man.
Yeah, you could, but it's, I don't know. Hunters is not popular enough. Maybe with the new control scheme, maybe. But
That
I
game
don't
should be
know.
remade.
Hunters could fit, but I think Federation Force would fit a little bit more just because Silex is in both entries. Spoilers.
That would be smart. If he's going to be in
so-
Prime 4, it would be
Yeah.
smart to re-release that game to show it off.
Yeah, I think, you had to get the bonus endings for both games to see Silex, but I think both of them are so close together, and maybe that is the bonus you get Metroid Prime Hunters with Metroid Prime 2 or something like that. But and that would be actually better, preferably for me, because I think the multiplayer was so much better than Metroid Prime 2, or maybe some kind of combination of the two of them. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, yeah, I
could
definitely
see that.
think so. We're thinking Donkey Kong and Metroid will have this. I think it'll be a Prime 4 trailer, and then right after that, the guy will be like, "Oh, what did you think?"
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the meantime, the game has a long time to wait. We're not quite finished with that game yet. So in the meantime, take a look at this, and then it goes into the trailer for Prime Remastered coming this October or something like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
All right. Well,
For sure.
so far we're very close in our predictions. I mean, basically
Yeah.
the same. So, go ahead. What's your third one?
This isn't super out there. It's already been. It's a big wish for me. It's another game that needs a lot of recognition. It needs to be brought to Switch. And again, my theme is a lot of ports and ideas like that. So definitely leaning towards there being a Kid Icarus reboot.
Okay.
Now, whether they actually bring it out this year, I seriously doubt that. But I think they're going to show something off like that, where they're like, the classic reimagined with new controls, and the soundtrack has been, made prettier with HDified. It was on a DS or 3DS, and now it's on, a full sound, and it had some amazing music in that game, and the multiplayer is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if, sure they'll do amiibo instead of like the AR cards they used before. Since that's not really the medium. I still have my AR cards, but it's it'd be kind of cool to see what they do with amiibo. Maybe that is how you unlock things, is with your different amiibo that you have. And if you have a whole bunch of amiibo, you can unlock a whole bunch of different weapons and customization and stuff for the multiplayer. But the single player is just such a beautiful, beautiful experience, and the banter and the writing and everything was just so good, and that it was just marred by its awful controls. So I can definitely see that game like flourishing if it ever came to Switch, and it could be a good boost for we got a Kirby game. It was like really awesome and epic, and this is kind of Kid Icarus is kind of that epic feel. And maybe it's too close on the heels of Kirby. Maybe that's the next project they're working on, but it'd be nice to hear some kind of announcement or something for that.
Could be.
So we'll see.
Okay.
What is yours?
Okay, well, to comment on yours, I don't know if Kid Icarus is coming this year. I do think it's kind of weird how they've never followed up that 3DS game. A lot of people loved it, and he's in Smash, so I think it's time for something like that. That's not my next prediction, but I do agree that I do think within the next 5 years we will see something of Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
But my next prediction is, the Nintendo Online for the 64, we've pretty much, I think, have gone through. next month is the last month that they will release the last game that we know of that is coming to the service. I think we will get an update on what's coming out for the next rest of the year for that service. And
Virtual Boy.
No, 64 games. They're going to have another batch of 64 games.
Okay.
And I do predict that my big prediction in that one is I think we will finally see the re-release of GoldenEye on the service. I think that will happen. I think that will be the big selling point. Like, hey, if you have not jumped on, well, here's a classic for you. You know, and then then we're gonna get a sizzle reel over the rest of the games. And my gosh, give me some Banjo-Tooie. I'm ready to
Smash
replay
Brothers
that one.
better be in there.
Yeah, Smash Bros. With some online capabilities. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the classic one. Oh, man. It's funny. I might enjoy playing the original one more than I do, like, the current one. I don't know. Just because
It's
it has
super party fun. You know,
well, it just has
not
the
supposed to be
nostalgia
serious.
twist on it, you know? Yeah, it's like, this is like, you know, back in the day, and you know the controls are wonky, and the characters are not well-tuned. It would just be good old straight fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a Nintendo NOS sizzle reel. Don't know what games will be there. Besides, I do think GoldenEye will be on there, and they're going to highly show that off.
It'd be pretty cool if they really made a marketing push for their online and made it more of a alluring thing, like, you know, bringing new people into the service. Because there's not been a lot of advertising outside of here's the new service, here's some of the things we're going to offer, but they didn't really push it as something to be really hyped about.
Right.
And the media naturally will push stuff on their own, like, hey, this came out, this is an awesome game. Like, we're seeing that now with Kirby 64 and the highlights of what came with that. And other people are promoting it, not just, you know, Nintendo's own promotions. So
yeah,
a lot of nostalgia is promoting that right now. So it'd be kind of cool to see them take a front runner and push that service, because that's going to be one of their major things moving forward. Because that service is going to be able to be ported to future systems and allow you to play, you know, legacy stuff with the subscription carrying forward on other consoles. Because the infrastructure could hold that, you know, since it's all streaming based. So, I mean, there's some download to the console, but, you know.
For sure.
So,
well, go ahead. What's round 4? What do you got?
You know, it's hard to say what random franchise that they're going to be pulling out of their back pocket, you know.
It is hard. I mean, it could be anything.
And I think it's probably too early to call like one of their new series that they just acquired recently. You know, we're probably not going to see another I just blanked on the name of the game. The futuristic police game that they just got from Platinum.
Astral Chain.
Yeah, I don't see a new Astral Chain coming this close.
No.
So we're going to get something else to hold us over. Honestly, I feel like they're
Bayonetta
just going to be
3's
announcing...
coming this year, right?
What's that?
Bayonetta 3's coming this year, right?
It is, yes. But that's Astral Chain isn't in Platinum's wheelhouse anymore. So Nintendo owns that one now.
Oh,
Nintendo straight up owns it now.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yep, they acquired it recently.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So, well, I guess it was maybe a year or two ago.
I mean, that's great because I really liked that. Even though I didn't get to finish it, I really liked that game. That was an awesome game.
Yeah. So
you could probably see a sizzle reel. I guarantee you they're going to show gameplay of Bayonetta 3. Unfortunately, that's one of my pet peeves. As I don't like seeing gameplay of games I know are coming because like if I'm interested, I've already done all the research. I've already watched YouTube videos on it. Like, don't waste my time. I just want games. That's one thing Xbox does do right. They're all about the games, game after game after game after game. And that's what I want Nintendo to do. Unfortunately, they're going to spend 6 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes on Bayonetta 3. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So my next prediction is a little more nebulous. It does hammer home on the eShop, not eShop, the online subscription. I think we're going to see the next 99 game. And whether that's Super Mario 35 Revisited or, you know, Zelda 35 or Zelda whatever, or, you know, something multiplayer, massively multiplayer. It doesn't have to be necessarily Nintendo based. It can be something like, you know, I have Pac-Man 99. Something, we're going to get something new in that big, huge multiplayer, you know, experience. like a Fortnite or something like that. But in Nintendo's wheelhouse, I don't see there being any collaboration with Fortnite, having any Nintendo characters coming to Fortnite. But I can see something that Nintendo brings, a new service, a new, big battle royale type game. And that would be pretty cool. I would like to see what they do that, because Mario 35 was a lot of fun. And it was a short one-time experience, and then it's gone. That's fine. And I want to see more of those experiences come. And down the road, maybe there'll be a collection of those types of games into one. I don't know how they would do that. They'd have to build in AI for all the other opponents if you're playing offline. But to have an offline mode and to just build out that full experience, but have it's kind of the evolution of the NES remixes. And I'd like to see more of the 35 treatment for other franchises that Nintendo holds, and give that that remix feel to it, and that experience. Maybe I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but maybe an Ice Climbers 99 or something like that, where you have to climb and not fall, and that would be pretty challenging. But maybe make the gameplay a little bit more fair, and have some challenging levels and things like that. So maybe a little bit more variety, but it'd be kind of cool to exist in that space and see something. So
very nice.
What do you think?
I mean, I think that could very well happen. Nintendo. That's the one thing they do too. It's like we, every year we have our predictions, and everyone thinks of these big things, and then they just announce something. It's like, no one asked for this, kind of like that. What was that Dragon game? It was like a remake.
Dragalia Lost.
Yeah, that game. I was like, oh, all right. We haven't seen that.
Wrapping up the story after all these years.
Yeah, it's just something you don't think about. But I could definitely see that happening with what you said. So my fourth prediction. It's hard.
Can we both be in agreement that mobile is dead?
Mobile, yeah. I mean,
there's nothing new mobile coming out.
No, and even if there was, they wouldn't talk about it here. They never have talked about it at E3. So I'm not. That's not on my radar at all.
Okay.
I think this is where you get hard, because then you start reaching that pie in the sky predictions. We already know about Pokemon. Man, and we don't know much about Mario Rabbids 2. But it was announced at E3 last year. I would rather them not show it off again. I already know it's coming. But for my fourth prediction, I will say I think that we will get the Wind Waker HD port. I think that'll get shown off this time. Again, it's just another game. Kind of like you said at the start, you think we're going to have a lot of port or remasters this year. I think we see Wind Waker HD ported over. And maybe Twilight Princess is in there. I could see them just doing one game at a time. And then they announce it later to fill another slot while they're gearing up for some bigger games for next year, since Breath of the Wild 2 is already pushed back. And along with that, I guess I can group this together. I think we'll get another trailer for Breath of the Wild 2. I think we'll get another updated trailer. And then, just like Prime 4, we're like, here's Breath of the Wild. You know that Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed till next year, but we'd like to show you an update. And they show the update, and then in the meantime, while you're waiting for more Zelda, take a look at this. There comes the music and re-release of HD, which I would buy. It's my favorite Zelda game. I'd buy it in a heartbeat. So that's my fourth prediction. We will get a Zelda Wind Waker HD port.
Cool. I think it could happen.
It could happen for sure. How about for this fifth one? You got any third-party ideas? Just a major third party out there that maybe you want to come, that you could maybe see coming. I have one.
I mean, yeah, you don't care about this, but I would love the Pixel remasters to come to Switch for the Final Fantasy.
I know what that is.
Final Fantasy Pixel remasters 1 through 6. They remastered them and made them all HD. The HD 2D style. but they did it for
Okay.
like the original Final Fantasies, and I really want to play Final Fantasy VI with this HD look on Switch on the go, and that would be awesome. But they haven't brought it to Switch yet. It's like perfect material for that, and they haven't done it. So that's what I'm hoping for that.
Oh, okay.
From Square Enix.
Third party for me. I have a feeling that we're going to get the Batman Arkham trilogy released on the Switch. I think we'll get all the Arkham games.
And do you think we'll get? How do you think they're going to handle the Wii U features of the one title, or do you think they're going to just do like the other console versions, the Armored Edition stuff?
I could see them just including that for that specific game, but I think the rest will just be straight ports from the other systems. Since the other one, we only had 2 of them come on the Switch, and then the other ones didn't come to the Switch. They didn't or to the Wii U. Sorry, but I think we'll get all of the games, which would be really cool. So then, I guess every year we always have to have a pie in the sky, big dream game that no one's predicting but you. And what's the game and why?
So, it's not going to be released this year, but I think Nintendo's going to go all in with their VR. They're going to have the OLED VR attachment. They're going to have a VR thing. It's still affordable, but you can get that. You can experience the Virtual Boy experience, but also they're going to bring new experiences. So you can actually play a brand new Wario Land game in Switch VR.
Wow.
And experience the glory that is Wario Land. This is a shout out to Kyle Martin, who's a big, huge Wario Land fan. I could just see that happening. It's pie in the sky, VR, let alone there being a Wario Land game coming. But I'm remaining hopeful here. It would be really awesome to experience the classic library with the VR. If you have that, kind of sweeten the deal. If you have VR, then you get to experience the Nintendo Online for your classic Virtual Boy experience. But this time it's actually fully VR and it's actually on the go. Like you can have it strapped to your head and you'd be good. You don't have to worry about being plugged in or anything. Like it's all fully portable, no wires. You just, experience that. But that's kind of my idea is to play those classics, but also get a new experience in the VR space. That's just, a lot of things like Oculus and things like that are moving into the VR space. Nintendo has experimented with it and they don't see it too viable at first, but, Labo VR saw some good publicity, but there isn't a lot of VR support, and I just really want to see Nintendo move that way, and so that's why it's kind of the pie in the sky for me. I don't see Nintendo doing it unless they have a big push for it and a lot of games behind it. And they've been a little quiet. They got COVID to work through and everything, and maybe that's something that's a non-starter because of COVID, but that's something that I'm just, pie in the sky hopes for, is that they move forward in the VR space.
Man, you really want some VR.
Yeah, and that reminds me, you need to try out Oculus. I'm going to bring it over sometime. You can play. So.
Hey, I'd say bring it to the E3 party, but
yeah, I'm going to be gone.
I can't believe that you're going to be gone. It's like everyone's skipping Christmas this year, and it sucks.
Maybe we'll be on a video call, all of us who can't be there, and it'll just be you and Kyle and all of us on a screen.
Yeah. I think Traven might still be in there, so and Jesse's up in the air, but we'll see. But it's gonna be sad. We're gonna have to, for our listeners, we're gonna have to do a separate. Usually, we always do a live reaction recording, but I don't think we will with Ryan not being there. We usually use Ryan's laptop for that, and we usually have everyone do their thoughts. But I think we should we'll do an episode with you, Josh, and I. Maybe Tom, if he wants to jump in, and we'll talk about it afterwards. But not like an actual oh my gosh type of thing.
Yeah, that's a shame, but
it is a shame.
The way things have gone this year. So
yeah, but we all know Josh. He does not want to come out this way this year. He just
gas prices are
blaming it on them gas prices there. So
yeah.
But he's got his wife's birthday and everything too, so I understand.
What a softie.
Yeah. Okay, pie in the sky dream for myself. This prediction. Oh man. Well, I would have to say, I think
This is a tough one for you, Jacob. It's really tough because you're already getting your pie in the sky wish this year with the Cowabunga collection. You know, like it's kind of crazy that like you are already getting that. So
I did predict that. Yeah.
where do you go from there?
If you go back to our early episodes, probably season 1 or season 2 of the show, you know, we talked about collections. We had a whole episode about games and franchises we wanted back on Nintendo, because at that time, you know, a lot of people jumped ship and were on board with Nintendo, but the Switch was just birthing, and you know, no one knew what to expect fully. And I remember I said I wanted Dragon Ball Z, and we've had a plethora of Dragon Ball Z games, and I've played like one of them. And I wanted a TMNT collection on the Switch, you know, because we were getting all these collection games. I'm like, that'd be perfect for the Switch. And lo and behold, here it is, and it's coming to the Switch, and we're getting a brand new Ninja Turtle game, which is really cool. But yeah, so you are right, and I mean, I'm excited. You know, hopefully Mario Rabbids 2 comes out this year. We still don't have a confirmation on that. Maybe we will get a confirmation date at E3, of the Nintendo event, but. So, I mean, honestly, I do have a lot of games coming out this year that I could potentially see myself just truly loving. Pie in the Sky, it's still tough. I mean, I already kind of said one, you know, but I legitimately can see Donkey Kong being announced this year. I will say, along with Donkey Kong, we will get a Mario Odyssey 2.
Okay.
I think we will get a sequel to the game. It's the best-selling Mario game in the franchise of all Nintendo, of all Mario. And it had, you know, there's been legitimate rumors about it. I would love to see a follow-up to it. Maybe it's not, I don't know, maybe it's a Space Odyssey this time, you know? Everyone's wanting to follow up to Galaxy, you know, maybe kind of combine the two, and it's like Mario Odyssey, but it's a Space Odyssey. Maybe we're going from planet to planet, and
that'd be cool.
That's the big hub world for that. So that'll be my pie in the sky dream: Mario Space Odyssey. Boom! You heard it here, folks. Cool. Nintendo nostalgia.
So I gotta ask, on behalf of Josh, do you think Yoshi's gonna show up in the second one?
Yeah, definitely. I think Yoshi. That's usually what they, especially if it's the same engine, everything they're gonna do. They just take everything from the first game and then they just add to it, you know, just like Galaxy 2 did from 1. They'll have Yoshi in it. Would be cool. But yeah, I'm saying we're getting a Donkey Kong game and we're getting Mario. So that's my pie in the sky dreams. Definitely one of the two will happen for sure.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about how wrong I was after the live event is over, and then how we ended up getting Star Fox Racing instead, which blew us all away. So,
just a little like end cap here. Do you think we're going to see any special DLC? Do you think any games are going to get some DLC to promote them during E3?
You know, that's a great question. I don't know. Probably not.
I feel like Mario Party is kind of a given.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great and that'd be smart, but Nintendo likes to not do the obvious things sometimes. I would love that, to get more boards for that.
I don't see us getting like a DLC expansion randomly from like Wario or something.
No.
I can see like maybe it's an expansion to Kirby, maybe an expansion to something more for Metroid Dread, just to keep it, you know, the hype going. It'd be cool to see them push the sales numbers a little bit more for Metroid Dread.
If anything like for Dread, that would be definitely, if anything for Dread, that would be the one game I really want some DLC to, and I would immediately pick the game back up. Maybe a connecting
some actual story content.
Yeah, something that happens at the end when you get off the thing. I don't know. Get to run around in the Metroid suit, Samus. Spoilers. Metroid suit Samus, and mess around with that. That would be pretty interesting. Who knows? But yeah, you could see something along those lines.
I mean, we'll probably get like Mario and Nintendo themed costumes for Switch Sports, Nintendo Switch Sports. But you know, that's we still have a couple of things they'll probably show, like Splatoon 3. They'll probably do some weird Splat Lab thing like they always do, and the weird awkward stuff that's just funny.
Stuff that's like, why are you doing this? You're wasting time.
I find it charming.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny for how silly it is. It definitely is silly.
Yeah.
But, there's bound. And the best part about this, there will be games we're not even thinking about. There will be ports that were like, oh, wow, I had no idea that they were working on porting that game to the Switch.
Yeah.
No one thought about it, and it'll be cool. That's what's fun about E3.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nintendo's.
Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. Yeah, they'll randomly remake a game like that. Like,
yeah.
Remake Star Fox Dinosaur Planet HD. Great. That'd be awesome. I'd buy it right away. but yeah, that's all I got. We'll see how sad or how happy we are after this E3. So, any final words, Ryan?
I hope that that next year everybody can get together for the NOS crew hangout, and we can have a full-on E3, and it's actually going to happen. If E3 is fully dead, I'll be pretty sad about that, but I'm sure something else will pop up in its place, So we'll see. Nintendo will probably do something, make a big event at it. If they have an event like at their locations for the theme parks, that'd be kind of cool. We could all travel to the theme parks and do the event there or whatever. Or maybe we just take a trip to Nintendo New York.
Yeah. I'll be full teacher mode then, so I shouldn't have to worry about requesting work off anymore in the summers, which is probably the number one. It's probably the most exciting thing I have about becoming a teacher is that I don't have to worry about requesting E3 off in the summer.
Yeah.
It just comes with the territory. Cool. Well, where can everyone find us, brother?
Everywhere now.
Yeah.
Most major podcast streams you can find us, even including Amazon, Pandora, like some of the strange ones off the radar. Of course, our main one's on Anchor. That's our host, and which is adjacent to Spotify. So you can find us there. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Find us and listen to us there. Our YouTube presence is lacking right now. We are considering working on that. If nothing else, just going back to the original formula where we have a banner up and just play the audio over the banner instead of having something like special thumbnails or anything like that, just to make sure that you guys get content elsewhere on that platform. That's something we're seriously considering. We've heard you guys talk about that. So that's something we're definitely evaluating, weighing for that, just to make things a little more accessible to everybody with YouTube. Just hop on YouTube and listen to that while you're at work or whatever. So totally get it. We hear you, and looking forward to bringing you content in different ways. So
cool.
Other than that, if you ever want to email us, let's share us your nostalgic memories. NintendoNostalgiaIN@gmail.com. And then, I think that's all I've got for you this week. We've got more stuff to bring to you in later weeks. We've got some cool episodes in the works. We're planning some pretty cool things. I'm definitely looking forward to our We Were Absolutely Wrong episode following the E3 presentation. I definitely look forward to that. And I think we might have a music episode in the works. So it's been a long while. So it'd be kind of cool to see that.
That's right.
More details come soon.
Cool. Thanks, Ryan, man. And yeah, guys, you know what? Write in on Facebook or call us. Tell us what you think about our predictions. We want to hear if you think we're stupid, or if you think we're spot on with the money, or what your predictions are too. We'd love for you to share with us. We try to be as engaged as we can. So please do.
Yeah. And that phone number is 317-969-5690.
Awesome.
Guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next time. Later, Preston.
Peace. Bye.